Hello, my name is Rita Roberson. I am a 5th grade teacher here at Sandston Elementary School. Welcome. Today we will be talking about drawing conclusions. All right, kids, you ready?
Yeah.
And so for the last couple of weeks, we've talked about drawing conclusions. Who can recall or tell us what drawing conclusions actually is? Yes.
So it's when you get text evidence and then you make an inference about the book.
Okay, you use text evidence, inferences that you make about the book. What else do you want to add?
It could be putting in your own words.
You're paraphrasing or putting in your own words.
You could, well, it's kind of like you said, but like you can take evidence from the text, you know, and paraphrase it, make it like, you know, your like writing type thing.
Okay, you put it in your own words. So what we're going to do is with that conclusion, we're going to make a judgment or decision that we think about for a while. We're using text evidence. We might think about our background knowledge or our schema to form a conclusion. So we do use what the text says as well as what we already know. Now today you are going to be detectives, okay? So you're going to help us solve a mystery. The mystery is the case of the missing mascot. What's a mascot?
It's like kind of like something that, so like for example, a company may have some sort of animal or person that represents them.
Okay, an animal, a person, that a company, maybe a school, something that represents them. You are exactly correct. Good job. So today we're going to talk about a missing mascot. Where do you think this story is going to take place? If the mascot's missing, where do you think the mascot's missing from?
Like a school or like a sort of a sports team.
Okay, maybe a school, sports team. You guys are agreeing. I see a lot of people agreeing with that. We'll see a school, sports team. All right, let us look and see. So, learning intentions. Remember, we are going to be learning to support a conclusion using multiple pieces of text evidence. And tips to remember. It may be helpful to highlight important information. So all of you have the clues. Don't start reading them yet, though. So you have clues in front of you. I need each one of you to grab your highlighter and grab the Post-it notes off the table because you're going to all need a Post-it note. So in front of you, each person should have the situation packet with all of the clues that you'll need to solve the mystery, as well as a sheet where you can take notes, similar to a notebook if you were a detective, right? This is going to be your note sheet where you're going to actually write down all of the clues that will help you to solve the mystery of the missing mascot. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You ready? All right. So the Brookhaven Bears were all ready for the big game against Randall High until their pot-bellied pig, Snout, was stolen. Now, they need to find the mascot before the kickoff in 2 days. So what's the problem? How much time do they have to solve the mystery? 2 days. Okay. So what's the first thing they need to do? Give a little think time. 1 second and then we'll go. Do you want some help? What were you saying? They have to look for clues, but let me ask you a question. If it's an animal, do you think it's possible the animal just walked away?
No.
Why not?
Because that's a mascot. It's not real.
Okay, but it's an animal. What makes it so special being a mascot?
It's a real animal.
It is a real animal, but what do you think? Okay, it represents the team, but how do we know the mascot didn't just walk away?
Probably trained.
Maybe it's trained, or maybe they keep it in a certain location so they can keep it safe, right? All right, so let's look at this. The clues. Look at your clues as I'm reading aloud. You ready? Snout went missing from the Brookhaven field house on Wednesday afternoon while the team was practicing. Practices usually run from 2:30 to 5 o'clock. When the team came back to change and to leave, they found a large ham sitting on Snout's bed. Why are you looking like that? You were like, what are you thinking? Oh, the pig is ham, okay. On it was a note that said, Raiders eat ham for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Someone said they saw a person wearing a blue jacket with fancy gold buttons leaving from the field house. They thought it was strange because the jacket, well, it almost looked like a military uniform. I want you to stop and think. So now, she used her background knowledge and said, well, I was like, uh-oh, something might not be good with Snout because they had a picture, they had some ham on the thing, and I know pigs are ham. So she used that background knowledge. What clues did the author give us that might help us solve the mystery? 30 seconds of think time. And then I want you to use your highlighters and highlight. What are some of the clues that the author may have given us? Go back into the text. What are some of the clues that the author gave us? What are some of the clues that the author gave us that might give us a hint of who the culprit is? Who's the culprit? What are some of the clues? Let's highlight some of the clues. 10 more seconds and then we'll talk about it. What are some of the clues? What are you highlighting? What are some of the clues? What are some of the clues that might help us to figure out who stole the pig? What are some of the clues? All right, number 2.
One of the clues was
Give me one clue.
Raiders eat ham for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The Raiders eat ham for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you highlighted the Raiders eat ham for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
This part right here.
Yep.
Why do you think that's a clue that might help us to solve the puzzle?
Because
Or-
it might be like a group called the Raiders.
Oh, it might be a group called the Raiders. Okay, you agreeing? Number 13, what else do you have?
I put down that someone saw a person wearing a blue jacket with fancy gold buttons.
Ah, that blue jacket with fancy gold buttons. And I had a couple people agreeing. Do we have anything else?
And they also said that it looked like a military uniform.
Looked like a military uniform. You had that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one other clue that might be important. What do you have?
Wednesday afternoon while the team was practicing, practices usually run from 2:30 to 5 p.m.
Ah. So they were able to narrow down the time, right? Now, if you didn't have some of these key clues, could you please make sure you've highlighted them? Because they're important, right? Okay. Now, we have our clues, but let's look at our list of suspects. You ready? Here are the suspects. Miguel. Now, Miguel is the starting quarterback of the Randall Raiders, and he has a history of pulling pranks, especially on Brookhaven. Last year, he snuck into the school to hang a large Randall Raiders sign in the gym before the big pep rally. The team really wants to win this game and has been practicing an hour later than usual, meaning he gets home around 6 o'clock. Miguel also has a blue Letterman's jacket. Highlight some of the key points about Miguel. What are some things that could point to Miguel's guilt, but might also point to his innocence? How are we going to figure that out? Your face is looking like, what? Well, let's think about something. What are some things that we remember from this page? What are some key things that we pulled out from the clues?
That he was wearing a blue jacket with
Okay.
fancy gold buttons.
That jacket with those gold buttons. What else?
That he's the starting quarterback for the Randall Raiders.
We know he's the starting quarterback, but here it talked about playing against Randall Raiders, the fact that they said the Raiders eat ham, and this also told us about that time frame, right? So think about key points on this page that'll help us to determine whether he's guilty or innocent. Did you highlight the key points? Now, on this sheet, on your recording sheet, who's the culprit? Think about some facts about Miguel. Are there any key facts that you want to record about Miguel that might prove to his guilt or his innocence? Okay. So start recording some of your thoughts. Do you think he's guilty? If so, why? Is there something that might help to support his innocence? If so, why? Take about 1 minute to talk to your table mates. Talk to your table mates about your thoughts. Okay, you're focusing on the fact that he's playing for the Brooklyn Raiders, right? But listen to what she's saying. Repeat that again for him.
And he has to practice an hour later than we when he gets home around 6.
And what was the time frame that it took place? So think about it. Is it possible? Stop, look, and listen. So I had some interesting conversations going on. How many of you guys talked about the fact that he had that blue jacket? You thought that was key. How many tables say he's got to be guilty because he's quarterback, he's Randall, he really likes playing pranks? What was the one thing, and I heard one person say it, what was the thing that you said that said, well, he can't do
That
it?
he got home around 6 and they get off practice at 5.
Okay, she used her detective skills and said, well, you know what? They practiced an hour later because they're serious about winning this game, and he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks of a team, guys, are like the leaders of the team, okay? So he was like, I'm the captain of the team, I'm the leader of the team. Yeah, I like pulling pranks, but we need to win this game. If they got out at 6 o'clock, is it possible that he could have stolen Snout?
It could be, like, if you want to, if you want to take a break.
But did it say that he took a break?
Oh, no.
Can we infer that he took a break? Did it say anything about water breaks? Did it say he was unaccounted for a few minutes? So we can only use the text that the author gave us. Is it possible?
No.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I don't think so because like the mascot usually comes home like goes like back to where he was supposed to be at around when time ends.
Okay.
And when time ends it's 5 and then he stays an extra hour. I don't think he took it.
Okay. So you don't think he took it because he stayed an extra hour at practice. So that time frame eliminates him, and we're saying now he's not guilty.
And they were already been gone if he did do it because his practice ends at 6 and their practice ends at 5.
Okay. So did everyone agree? Do we all agree that he couldn't have done it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Amber. Amber looks perky. Amber is the head cheerleader and has 2 times more school spirit than anyone else at Randall High. She lives for football season. And she gets very upset after losses. Her squad has been busy getting ready for the big pep rally. They're learning a new dance routine and want it to be perfect. Now, she left school around 4:30 on Wednesday so that she could make it to work by 5 o'clock. She was already in her uniform, a white shirt and black pants.
Wait, she's not wearing a coat. Oh, yeah.
So, write down your personal observations in 30 seconds. Write down your personal observations in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, no talking. I want you to think about it. I like that I see some people highlighting as they're writing. Some people are highlighting what they're thinking about and now they're writing it. Some people just started writing. They were like, oh, I can figure this out. So now, talk to your table mates. 1 minute. This one was quite interesting. What do you guys think about Amber?
No. She's not guilty because she's not wearing a blue coat. She's not wearing a blue coat.
You guys over here, you were trying to convince him because he was just like, she's guilty. You thought she was guilty, right? Do you still think she's guilty? You're still like, I don't know now? They were really trying to convince you. What was their biggest argument for her being innocent?
That she wasn't wearing a blue jacket.
Okay, that she wasn't wearing a blue jacket. How many people said that's why she was innocent? Okay, but what made you think, that's okay, can we still have our own thoughts? Yeah. What made you think she still might be guilty?
Because she left at 4:30, they didn't have time to do something.
Okay, so the time frame, that's what you were thinking? The time frame of the crime was between 2:30 and 5:30, right? And if she left at 4:30, she still might have had enough time.
But
Yes.
she was learning a new dance routine that she really wanted to learn.
Okay, what about the new dance routine? What do you mean?
She wanted to make it be perfect. Like,
Okay, so she was more focused on that dance routine being perfect. Yes.
And just to add on to Milo's observation, I felt that because she's making it like perfect, she didn't want to mess it up with the mascot. Maybe she doesn't like the mascot and she like hid it or something.
Okay, do you think she got the mascot?
she could've
Okay.
booked that big mascot.
You don't think that she was strong enough to take the mascot? Cheerleaders can be strong.
Wars are really strong. Yeah.
Okay.
So we just have to hold a person.
All right, so did everyone record whether or not they thought she was guilty? Okay, let's look at our next culprit. You ready?
No, he's Stephanie.
Stephanie. Not only is Stephanie the senior class president, but she is also very involved in 4-H, and she plays trumpet for the Marching Raiders. Now, both bands are extremely competitive, and the halftime shows are almost as much fun as the games. The band practices from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. They are serious. They are all about it.
So she kind of yeah.
And they practice at that time because it's not quite as hot outside. Now, Stephanie had to get there about 30 minutes earlier so someone could fix her uniform jacket. Keep your thoughts in your head, keep your thoughts in your head, keep your thoughts in your head. Stop. Thoughts in your head. Now, highlight and record. What are your thoughts while they're still hot? What are your thoughts while they're still in your head? No talking yet, no talking, no sharing. Thoughts in your head. Write down what you're thinking. Highlight and record your thinking. Hold on to it. I know you want to share, but hold on to it for a second. What are you thinking about Stephanie and why? What are you thinking about Stephanie and why are you thinking it? I like that I see some people going back and looking at the situation. They're going back to that main clue page to check to make sure what they're writing down is correct. Now, 1 minute. Talk to your table mates. Why? So what does that mean? Okay. All right. Did you share that with your teammates? All right. Stop, look, and listen. This one sparked a lot of debate. It was quite interesting. Look at all of these hands going up. This one was very interesting. You guys had a lot to say about Stephanie. Number 17.
She's guilty because she is guilty because she had the exact same clothes on as what they said in the first passage about Miguel, with the uniform with the gold buttons. It looks like a military.
Okay. A lot of people are adding on. What are you thinking? You're just like, ooh.
The thing is, they said that she had like gold buttons and stuff.
Okay.
The passage didn't say she had gold buttons.
Oh, so you're saying when you went back into the passage, you see that it has a uniform, but it didn't say anything about gold buttons. Okay. All right. I like that observation.
Or that it was blue.
Or it didn't say that it was blue. Okay, you two are, well, you three are now saying, well, it wasn't blue. Okay.
It didn't say what color it was.
It did not identify the color? Yes.
But when you look at a trumpet player's uniform, it's always either blue or black, and it always has silver or gold buttons.
Are all band uniforms blue or black?
No.
Think about when we went over to Highland Springs a couple of weeks ago and we saw the band.
They was black.
Did the trumpet players have on blue or black uniforms that look like military uniforms?
Well, kind of.
What do their uniforms look like?
Black.
They had on sweats, right? So are they all the same? Can you say that all uniforms look the same? Okay, so we can't be definitively saying they're all the same. But I like your thought process. Yes?
It said she had to get there 30 minutes early with her uniform jacket. And the Raiders are the blue team, so.
Oh, so you went back to that first page.
Oh, yeah.
You went back to that first page where it said the Ravens' colors are blue. It was somewhere in here. It said the Ravens' colors were blue, right? It was right here where it said the Ravens' colors were blue. And you said, well, since the Ravens' colors were blue and she had to fix the uniform jacket, that's maybe what it was. All right, let's stop. We got one more suspect. You ready? It's the coach. Look at the coach. The coach looks too happy. Let's look at the coach. Now, this is Coach Jackson's first year at Randall, but he's jumped in with both feet. What does it mean he jumped in with both feet?
He started halfway.
Yeah, he was full in. Like,
What do you mean full in?
like he was, yeah.
He's all in about it. He's ready to do this thing. Okay. So, he even bought a blue car to show his school spirit. You said he was all in. He's all in. Now, the coach teaches driver's education in the afternoons before football practice begins. He's on the field ready to go by 2 o'clock, though. His motto is, if you're on time, then you're late. And he's been known to make kids run laps for even being 1 minute late. Now, Coach is always hot, so he wears polo shirts and lightweight khakis every day.
It can't be him.
30 seconds, think, write down your observations. 30 seconds. Stop, look, and listen. You guys started in on this one really fast. What was one thing that you guys noticed? Now, you used your background knowledge about something, and I was like, I'm really impressed with that. What was one thing that you guys were talking about?
So polo shirts, they only have like 2 or 3 buttons on the top and not going all the way down.
Okay, so the author told us that he wears polo shirts, right? But as a reader, we had to use our background knowledge to think about, well, what does a polo shirt look like? Did any other groups think about the fact that a polo shirt only had those 3 buttons right here? Did anyone else talk about that? You guys did? Okay. So what do you think? Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. You're saying he's guilty. Why are you thinking that the coach is guilty?
He could hit the mascot in his trunk or.
Okay, you think that he would have gotten the mascot and hit him in the trunk.
Yeah, also because he goes early and he would have enough time to do it.
Oh, he would have enough time to do it. What time is he? Who agrees with them or disagrees?
And he could also get hot by sitting there and waiting for the kids after you've done it.
Okay. Yes, you disagree. Why?
Because
Wait 1 second, Blake.
it never really said. Okay, I see it says something about like he drives, but like it never really said anything about him like he hit snout in his like trunk or he.
Okay.
It's not supposed to include.
It might not say it, but is there something somewhere else that tells us that's not possible or it is possible? What were you thinking?
I went back to the back of it, and it doesn't really make sense. He would make it into he would cook it after he hit it with the car and turn it, because it would be roadkill then.
Okay, you're thinking about roadkill. I'm gonna leave the roadkill alone.
It
Yes.
says that he wears that outfit every single day though.
Okay, so there's no blue because he wears that outfit every single day.
And it said it's his first year at Randall. Why would he hate people he doesn't even know yet?
He doesn't even know them. He hates them. But it did say that he was all in. He was like that coach that was like, yeah! He was all in. So do you think what? Do you think that?
I think it's not him because Because if he's the coach of them, wouldn't he be like watching, like coaching them while they're practicing? So it couldn't have been him because somebody came from the house, but they were practicing with their coach.
Oh, maybe that sparked something. What do you think?
Maybe because maybe he's really focused about coaching his team, and like he makes his students get there early so he can like watch over them and try to.
Okay, one more thing. Go back up here. It's one key point that might help you point to his guilt or his innocence. It's one key point, and I just pulled back up the clues. Think about the clues. Go back and reread the clues, and there's one clue that may help us to determine if he's guilty or innocent.
He might be guilty because it starts at 2:30. He gets there at 2 every day.
But go back and reread the entire thing.
If somebody's missing, he makes them run lap.
If they're
Late.
So, look at this. What time does practice usually run? 2:30 to 5 o'clock. So we know during that time frame,
He could probably put a
someone stole Snout, right? But what's the coach's motto?
Jackson never told us what time he got home.
He didn't tell us what time he got there?
No, he didn't tell us what time he ended.
What do we know about what time was the last player on the field?
6 o'clock.
Who was the last player on the field at 6? Do you think the coach was still there when Miguel was there?
No, because he Coach Jackson might have told him to like go home though.
You play football. Do you leave before your coaches or do your coaches leave before you?
Most of the time I leave before them.
Have you play baseball, you play softball, you play basketball. Who leaves first, the players or the coaches?
Players.
So do you think it's possible that the coach would have left Miguel? Use your background knowledge. Use your knowledge as players. Would the coach leave before players? Okay? So, go back to this one. Do you want to clarify your answer?
I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
It says that coach has always been hot, so if he was hot, he could have been sweating. Well, if he did steal the basketball.
But what does he always wear?
So he doesn't stay hot.
And what time, what's his motto?
If you're on time, you're early. Why would you early?
If you're early, you're late. If you're on time, you're late.
So if you're on time, you're late. What time does practice start?
2:30.
So if he's there at 2 o'clock, do you think he's going to risk being late?
No.
Talk to your table mates. Think about all of the clues that you have. Who stole Snout? Who's the culprit? Who has another culprit other than Stephanie? Who thinks it's someone else? Who do you think? You think it's coach. Okay. Why do you think it's coach?
Because he gets there early, and he made that motto for them to probably think something else so they wouldn't go late.
Oh, so you think his motto about being on time, you're late, is like a little red herring? It's something to throw them off? Okay. Who's number 15? Do you think that, who did you think it was? So you're going between Stephanie and Coach Jackson. Okay. What makes you think it could be either Stephanie or Coach Jackson? What's telling you it might be Stephanie? Okay. Your table mate's telling you to go back to the text. Do you want to phone a friend? Wait a minute, she might need some more think time. Okay, so you're thinking because she gets there 30 minutes early and she has a uniform jacket. So that's your support. Stephanie's guilty. Why did you think maybe it was still Coach Jackson? You're about to jump out of the building, aren't you? Why do you think it's Coach Jackson? Did you agree with him when he said, because he used that motto, if you're early, you're late, and maybe that's a trick?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you thinking before you hurt yourself?
Well, I think it's Stephanie because if she needed to get her coat fixed, she earlier she could have stole the mascot and the mascot could have messed up her coat.
Oh, maybe the mascot messed
That's
up.
why she could
Ooh.
have had taken her coat from the
You
job.
have a lot of friends. Okay.
Both of their inferences are really
Yes.
good.
I mean, real, because when she said the mascot was missing, it could have messed up the coat. But she probably planned on getting her coat fixed before the mascot was missing.
Oh, so the coat might have already been messed up. She planned on getting it fixed before she took the mascot? Okay. Yes.
I kind of disagree because, wouldn't the jacket be dirty? And because it's a pig and pigs are always muddy.
Oh, pigs are muddy.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Okay.
she's wearing her jacket. It's really
Okay.
To add on to what Kathleen said, I definitely agree with you. And also, since the time frame was 2:30 to 5 o'clock, and her practice starts from at 5 o'clock, she has in between 2:30 and 5 o'clock to steal the mascot.
All right.
Wait, can I say something?
Wait a minute. You ready?
Just want to
Do you want to find out?
Cowgirl.
The cowgirl.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
That was hard.
All right. Eyes back up on the board. You ready? It was Stephanie. And I appreciate the fact that you were going with the coach and you were really trying to figure out how to put it together. But let's see why it was Stephanie. You ready? Eyes up on the board. You ready? Wait a minute. Eyes up on the board. Stephanie. Now, Stephanie usually takes an afternoon class at the college, which is just down the road from Brookhaven. She knew that the pig would be there after hearing about it from a 4-H friend. It would have been the perfect prank if she hadn't had to bring her uniform coat with her that day. Of course, she could have left it in the car, but it was cold and she didn't think to take it off before stealing the pig. And no, the coach didn't say it was hot.
The coach always gets hot.
They said the coach always gets hot. He's always hot. But think about drawing conclusions. Think about your background knowledge. Football season, what is it usually like for football season, especially like rivalry games? It's usually fall and it's usually chillier.
It's right now.
I said Stephanie because the pig, its foot, it could have ripped her pocket or something.
Okay. All right. Now, you guys use a lot of your background knowledge with this, right? And you had to use a lot of the clues that were stated in the text, but we had to do also a lot of inferring what the author told us and what he didn't tell us. Thank you for joining us at Sandston. We hope you enjoyed our lesson.
We are